Hello, welcome back to the next part of the human reproduction. In the previous class, we have already came across the structure of the male gamete, which is called as the sperm, its characters, its labelings, as well as its descriptive part. In this class, first we are going to the structure of the ovary, human ovary. Second part is regarding the Graafian follicle. Third part is regarding the structure of the human ovum. So let's look at these diagrammatic representations one by one. Now coming to the structure of the human ovary, already we have studied that the human ovary, its length varies around 2 to 3 centimeters. It is present in the pelvic region of the female reproductive system, and the ovaries are attached. So there are two ovaries, a pair of ovaries present which are attached on the outer side of the uterus with the help of certain ligaments. And let's see the detailed account of the structure of human ovary. Now if we look at the structure of the human ovary as the size is small, which measures around 2 to 3 centimeters in its length and is attached to the outer part of the uterus in the female reproductive system. It appears in this way in its sectional view of the ovary. Then inside this, it has certain blood vessels also. There are certain blood vessels which are called as arteries and veins. So this is a vein, and here we have the blood vessel called as a artery also. So arteries and veins are present here. Now in this part we have certain developing follicles also here, and here we have a growing follicle called as a primary follicle. Then it grows into the secondary follicle, and this grows into tertiary follicle, and this tertiary follicle has a cavity inside the cell where we call it as the cavity, which is called as antrum here, and finally it matures into a larger follicle. This larger follicle is called as a Graafian follicle, and this Graafian follicle is nothing but it is the matured follicle. And now this Graafian follicle gets ruptured here, and the ovum is released during this process. So here ovum gets released, the ovum gets released. This process is called as a ovulation. So after the process of ovulation, release of the egg, the Graafian follicle is converted into one more structure where we call it as a corpus luteum. This corpus luteum matures, becomes large, and it will produce a hormone called as a progesterone, and after that it gets degenerated. Okay, now here if we look at this structure of the transverse section of the human ovary, it appears in this way. So we find all these structures in the transverse section of the human ovary. Okay, now let us look at the structures of this. Now in the human ovary, as we look across this ovary, it has different parts. This part where the ovary is attached is called as a mesovarium. The part of the ovary that is attached on the outer part of the uterus, the region is said to be mesovarium, and that mesovarium consists of a blood vessel, arteries and veins are present. Then apart from this, here we have the cells called as a germinal epithelium. This is germinal epithelium, and below the germinal epithelium we have a layer called as a tunica albuginea. And here we have certain follicles, and these are the growing follicles, and we call them as a primordial follicles. And out of this, it develops into primary follicle. It grows into the secondary follicle and develops into tertiary follicle, and finally gets matured into Graafian follicle. And this Graafian follicle has a cavity inside this. This cavity is called as an antrum, and it holds the ovum. This is the ovum, and after ovulation the ovum is released. This is the released ovum. So ovum that is released, we can call it as a released ovum or ovulated. This is forming corpus luteum. This is a matured corpus luteum, and this one is a degenerating corpus luteum, which is called as a corpus albicans. Okay, now look at the structure of the human ovary here. In the human ovary, in its sectional view, what are the parts that we see here? First one, the ovary is attached to the outer wall of the uterus, and it is attached with the help of the ligaments, and this part is said to be mesovarium, and here it is supplied with the blood vessel. Now if we look at the structure of the ovary is divided into two parts. This is the outer part of the ovary. This outer part is called as the cortex. Inner part is also called as a medulla. Outer part of cortex, inner part is medulla. Cortex is made up of follicular cells. Medulla consists of blood vessels along with certain fibers. Cortex consists of follicular cells. Medulla consists of blood vessels. It is richly vascularized. Vascularized meaning rich in blood supply. Arteries and veins are there, and hence the medulla region is vascularized. Now, the outer part, cortex. Suppose if we look at the layers, the outer part is lined by germinal epithelium, and below this consists of a layer called as tunica albuginea. Now, this germinal epithelium is a layer that will produce germ cells. That will produce the germ cells, or we also call it as the gamete mother cell, where the gametes are produced from these layers. And these germinal epithelium, when it produces these germ cells, they are present in the form of primordial follicles. So they are prematured follicles, and hence we call it as primordial follicles. These primordial follicles gets developed to form into primary follicle with the help of certain layers. On its outer layer, it develops into primary follicle. It grows into secondary follicle. Again, it grows into tertiary follicle that shows a cavity inside it called as an antrum. And finally, this tertiary follicle gets matured into Graafian follicle. And hence, the matured follicle in the transverse section of the human ovary is a Graafian follicle. This was for the first time identified by a person named as a Graaf, and hence the name Graafian follicle. Graafian follicle is the matured follicle. Regarding the structure of the Graafian follicle, again we are going to look at it separately, and hence we'll discuss it in the later part. Now this Graafian follicle, from the Graafian follicle, the ovum is released and the process is called as ovulation. This process of ovulation occurs exactly on the 14th day of menstrual cycle. Remember, menstrual cycle occurs once in 28 days, exactly at the mid of the menstrual cycle, where we call it as a 14th day. On the 14th day, the ovum is released, the egg is released from the Graafian follicle. This process is said to be ovulation. So ovulation is the process of release of ovum from the Graafian follicle that occurs exactly on the 14th day of menstrual cycle. Again, regarding the part of the menstrual cycle, we are going to study it in the later classes regarding the detailed account of the menstrual cycle. Now, after ovulation, this Graafian follicle gets converted into one more follicle called as a corpus luteum. This is the forming corpus luteum. This is the matured corpus luteum, which will be little bit enlarged in size, that will produce a hormone called as a progesterone. So what is its function? We'll see it. So this is the corpus luteum. Corpus luteum produces progesterone hormone. Then this corpus luteum, later on, it also gets degenerated if there is no fertilization. This corpus luteum gets degenerated, and the degenerative form of corpus luteum is said to be corpus albicans. Corpus albicans is the degenerative form of corpus luteum. Then, why the corpus luteum gets degenerated? After ovulation on the 14th day, the egg, when it gets released from the ovary, it enters into the fallopian tube. In the fallopian tube, the egg has to get fertilized. Remember the female reproductive system. When the egg is released, it travels in the fallopian tube or oviduct. In the oviduct, it has to get fertilized. If it gets fertilized, then this corpus luteum will be secreting progesterone hormone continuously, so that the pregnancy can be maintained. And because of this reason, progesterone is called as a pregnancy maintaining hormone. What will happen if the ovum is not fertilized? Suppose if the ovum is not fertilized, this corpus luteum gets degenerated and converts into one more follicle called as a corpus albicans. Corpus albicans is a degenerative form of corpus luteum. When it gets degenerated, progesterone hormone is not secreted. Due to this lack of progesterone hormone, it starts the next menstrual cycle. Again, regarding these hormones, we are going to study it in the part of the menstrual cycle. Okay, so this is regarding the part of the growing follicles. Now, we know that human ovary secretes two hormones. One is estrogen, second one is progesterone. We came across the hormone called as progesterone, that is secreted by corpus luteum. Now, which cells of the ovary secretes estrogen? The growing follicles will secrete estrogen. Remember, estrogen is the female sex hormone that is responsible for maintaining the secondary sexual characters of the females also. It also helps in development of the reproductive system in the females. And hence, the growing follicles will produce, the follicular cells will produce estrogen hormone, which maintains the femaleness, and the corpus luteum will produce a progesterone hormone. Estrogen is the female sex hormone. Progesterone is a pregnancy maintaining hormone, and hence both together, both the hormones can be termed as the female sex hormones only. Okay, so this is regarding the structure of the sectional view of human ovary. With this, let's look at the structure of the second one, Graafian follicle. So here we come across a structure of a Graafian follicle. Okay. Now in the structure of the Graafian follicle, here we observe the outer cells as well as the inner cells. We have the outer cells as well as the inner cells, and below this again we have group of cells here. Now, the outer layer of the graphene follicle is said to be theca externa. The inner layer of the graphene follicle is said to be theca interna. So, as we have these layers, outer layer is theca externa, inner layer is theca interna, and inside this we have certain cells where we call them as a membrana granulosa cells, the cells that we are drawing here. Okay, then at the center here we have a structure. This is the ovum, where we call it as a secondary oocyte also. Which is surrounded by certain cells. Now here we find a group of cells. We call this structure as a hillock also. Okay. Now here at the center, this is a cavity called as a antrum, consisting of Leica folliculi cells. Okay, now in its view, the outer part, this is called as a theca externa. This is a theca interna. This is a membrana granulosa. This is also called as a hillock, which is surrounded by certain cells called as a cumulus oophorous cells. Then outer layer cells, these are called as a corona radiata. Below this we have zona pellucida. And this is the oocyte. And here we have a cavity. This cavity is called as a antrum. This cavity is called as an antrum, that consists of Leica folliculi cells. Okay, now look at the structure of the graphene follicle. Graphene follicle is the matured follicle. Look at this. This is the graphene follicle. How the graphene follicle is formed? It is formed by its precursor follicular cells. What are those? Primary follicle, secondary follicle, tertiary follicle. Matured follicle is a graphene follicle. Graphene follicle is the matured follicle in the ovary. Now, if we look at the structure, detailed account of the graphene follicle has an outer layer of cells called as theca externa. Below the theca externa, we have theca interna, one more cell layer. Then in between these two, there is a membrane which is also called as a basement membrane also. Below the theca interna, we have 2 to 3 layered cells called as a membrana granulosa cells. Now these membrana granulosa cells, at one point they form into a heap-like structure which is called as a hillock that surrounds the ovum. The outer cells, we call it as a cumulus oophorous cells, which surrounds the outer part of the ovum. Below the cumulus oophorous cells, we observe corona radiata cells. Below the corona radiata, we have zona pellucida, and inside this we have the oocyte or the ovum. Now this ovum gets ruptured during ovulation. The ovum which is present inside the graphene follicle gets ruptured, and the process is said to be ovulation. Okay. Now this is regarding the structure of the graphene follicle. Now inside the graphene follicle there is a cavity. You can see the cavity here. This cavity is not empty, but it is filled with certain follicular cells, which is called as a Leica folliculi cells. And the cavity is said to be antrum. Remember this. which is the cavity present in the Graafian follicle. So it is the antrum. Antrum is the cavity. Okay, so this completes the transverse section or the view of a Graafian follicle, the structure of the Graafian follicle. And in the next part, let's see the structure of a ovum. So here we have the structure of ovum. Now, if we look at the structure of the human ovum, it appears in this way. Now, this human ovum, if we look at its size, the size might be around 1 millimeter. The size might be of 1 millimeter. And if we compare it with the size of the human sperm is much more smaller than the ovum. Ovum is 30 times bigger than the sperm. Ovum is 30 times bigger than the sperm. The ovum can be seen with the naked eyes, but sperm is microscopic, which cannot be seen with the naked eyes. So ovum measures around 1 millimeter in its length, and it is 30 times bigger than the human sperm. Now this is the ovum, and inside the ovum, here we have the nucleus consisting of a nucleolus here. And on the outer side, it is surrounded by certain cells. These cells are said to be corona radiata, as it appears like the corona layer of the sun, and hence the cell name is said to be corona radiata cells. So these are the corona radiata cells which are present on the outer part of the ovum. So this is regarding the structure of the human ovum. Now suppose if we look at its labelings, these cells, they are called as a corona radiata cells. After ovulation, when the ovum is released, the oocyte is not released alone, but it is released with a few cell layers. The outer layer, the ovum that consists, the outer layer is said to be corona radiata cells. Below the corona radiata, here we have a layer called as a zona pellucida. Zona pellucida layer is there. Then below this layer we have vitelline layer. It is also called as, this vitelline layer, this is also called as a plasma membrane. This is also called as a plasma membrane, inner layer. Then in the vitelline layer, there is a space. Now this space is called as a perivitelline space. This is the perivitelline space. And the structure that we observe here, this is the nucleus, and inside this is the nucleolus. And the space that is present in the ovum, we also call it a secondary oocyte. This space is called as a ooplasm. The cytoplasm of the ovum is said to be ooplasm. Okay, now look at the structure of the ovum. Ovum is surrounded by outer layer cells called as a corona radiata. Below the corona radiata, we have zona pellucida. Below the zona pellucida, here we have the plasma membrane, which is also called as vitelline membrane. And in between these two layers, there is a space which is called as a perivitelline space. The cytoplasm of the oocyte or the ovum is said to be ooplasm. Cytoplasm of the ovum is said to be ooplasm. Then here it consists of the nucleus, and inside that it has nucleolus. Now this nucleus consists of a haploid set of maternal chromosomes, haploid set of mother chromosomes. It has 23 mother chromosomes. Remember, the nucleus of the sperm has how many chromosomes? Haploid set of father chromosomes, 23 father chromosomes. Om nucleus consists of a haploid or 23 number of mother chromosomes. When these two nucleus gets fused, then it leads to the formation of a diploid zygote where the chromosomal number will become 46 after fertilization. So this is regarding the structure of the human ovum. Okay. Now here in this class we had came to the diagrammatic representations of three. First one is the structure of the human ovary. The second one is the structure of Graafian follicle. Third one is the structure of the human ovum and its labelings. Now here the major thing is, in the ovary, ovum is produced in the matured follicle called as a Graafian follicle, that is released by the process of ovulation, and this ovum gets fertilized in the fallopian tube and hence gets implanted to carry the pregnancy. So the further developmental process that will be continued in the later classes. Thank you.